Alright everybody, welcome back to the third part of my question and answer special, and most likely the last part, answering some more questions and then also getting to the chess questions. Okay. Alright, so where did I stop? So, Tips to Solving Puzzles by Ted Pioli. I mentioned this before briefly. I recorded a series on my YouTube channel which is called How to Solve Chess Tactics, and what can I say? I can just tell you to watch this series, and there's also, you'll find in the description of the videos, you'll find, I believe, my 7 steps that I'm doing, so this might be helpful for you, so you can check this out. Next question, what opening do you think is best for low rated players? What opening? I believe you should just try to find something which fits your style. I wouldn't make this difference here between best opening for low rated, middle rated, high rated players. Just find something that you like, that you enjoy to play, where you find that you get the positions you want. And of course, it takes a little bit of time to find out what's best for you. Of course, there's some openings which require more knowledge and there's more theory behind it. But the thing is, if you go for, let's say, not so heavy theoretical opening, the reason usually why they're not discussed as much is that they're probably not as good. So I would go for main lines just from the start. Main lines are, the best lines to play. So you just have to find it out yourself. I cannot give you a tip here because I don't know your style. I don't know what you prefer, which, if you're more positional or tactical player, you can say generally that e4 is more for players who like open positions, who like more tactical kind of positions, whereas d4, knight f3, c4 is more, you'll more often reach quieter, more calm positions. It's more for positional style of players. Okay, next question. Paulquappen. I heard there were players going crazy from playing too many blindfold games at a time. Have you heard of that or urban legend? Oh, I heard there were players. Okay, without DH. No, I haven't heard of that, and I don't think that's true. I know the current record is, I'd say, 50 games at the same time, blindfold simul. So that's a lot. I believe by Timur Gareev, player who's playing for the United States, Grandmaster, pretty recently. You guys kind of looked it up, but this is really impressive. 50 games. I mean, I can maybe do 3 or something like that. Okay. So I answered that question already. What's your favorite first chess book? Okay, let's answer the first question first. My favorite chess book. I really liked this book by, what's it called? I think it's called Expedition? I don't know if that's the right word, but Expedition in the Chess World by Christian Hesse. I have taken a lot of examples out of this book for my German series Unglaubliche Züge. I have to look up the exact name again. I'm not quite sure if that's the name of the author, but pretty much what's in the book is a collection of all kinds of chess curiosities and beautiful chess positions and stories and all that, and I just love that kind of stuff. I'm really fond of chess aesthetics, beautiful chess stuff, so I really enjoyed this book. Maybe if I think more about this topic, another book would come to mind, but I don't want to hold you guys up for too long. Okay, there are more book questions to come, oh my goodness. Okay, second, non-chess book. Non-chess book. Oh my goodness. I can't name a single one. I'm reading a lot of Stephen King lately, which I really enjoy. He's having great books, great writing style. I can just name authors. I like Dan Brown. I like these kind of novels, Ken Follett. But to point out a single book, that's really difficult. I like The Green Mile by Stephen King, but I can't say it's my all-time favorite. I mean, it would go too far. Okay, so I'm sorry, I have to pass. Third, non-specialist book, which is chess related. So I guess I kind of answered this question when I answered the first question. So maybe I should find another chess book now to say which is chess related. A chess book. I like the series My Great Predecessors by Garry Kasparov. Really was a comprehensive guide through chess history, getting to know all the world champions. I really like this series. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, and one more psychology related book. Psychology related book. These are really some difficult questions here. I really have to search my mind for some answers here. Psychology related book. You know what? Maybe I'll get back to it later. Maybe I'll just post something in the description later, or post an annotation in the YouTube video. I want to get to the rest of the questions, and I can't come up with something right on the spot. Okay, next question. Alt 1F4. Hey Nicholas, how do you become IM or GM? So I'm not quite sure if you mean here what are the exact requirements, or what's the way to go. Of course, a lot of practice is involved and a lot of dedication and playing tournaments. But in terms of exact requirements, so for IM, you have to reach 20,400 ELO rating points, and for GM, you have to reach 20,500. And then, that's not the only requirement, then you have to reach 3 IM norms or 3 GM norms respectively. And I can just, well, obviously they differ in what you have to obtain, but you have to achieve a specific performance. For IM it's 2450, for GM it's 2600, so you have to play on the 2600 level to obtain a GM norm, plus you need a specific amount of titled players, and I believe you need at least 3 IMs and at least 3 GMs for IM or GM, and 5 title players total. And lastly, I think you need 4 foreign players, so players from a different federation. Yeah, just 4 different federations, players from different federations. Alright, so I hope I answered your question to a satisfying extent. Okay, so there's one more now which just came in. I would like to see you playing against an engine on like 24 or 25 elo, like a 10-minute game. It would be some kind of GM special. Do you consider something like this as a new topic in your YouTube channel? I have to say that I just recently played a game against an engine, which will be released sometime in the future. I played Blitz and Talk against Magnus, and Magnus is an engine on Chess24. They're having this cooperation with this chess app by Magnus Carlsen called Play Magnus, where you can play against an engine who is supposed to play like Magnus Carlsen at different levels of his, different points of his development, so at the age of 8, 10 and so on. And I played against Magnus at the age of 10. This is what they're offering at Chess24. In general though, I'd rather play against a human, really. I mean, it's more fun. You know, against an engine, they make so little mistakes, and I would, first of all, yeah, maybe I could play against this other engine they have on Chess24. I think it's called Victoria. So maybe I could play against her. Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure if that would be a 10-minute game though. I don't think you have this option on Chess24, but since I'm pretty much only playing Chess24, I would need to play against an engine on there. So we'll see. Maybe for the future this could be an idea, but honestly it's more appealing to me, that's the word I was looking for, to play against humans. Okay, and now finally the chess question. So let's go back to the question right at the beginning by Alex, and he asked about the specific line. So I have to now, I have to switch boards, switch the view. Yep, looks good. And here we have the board, and he said this particular line: e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, knight f6, d4. And now e takes d4, castle. And what I think about this line, it's not particularly good for white, I have to tell you, Alex. The main move here is c takes d4, of course, and then bishop b4. It is the old Italian game which was played back 100 years ago a lot, but now it's not considered to be dangerous for black anymore. The point is, after castle, black has to know a little bit, but if he knows the next moves, then most likely he will obtain an advantage out of the opening, and this is definitely not something you want. So knight takes e4 is the move to play for black, and c takes d4, and now important move by black is d5. And of course, if the bishop now retreats, let's say b3, then obviously the black bishop will also just retreat, say to b6, and black is just up a pawn. So pretty much white has to take on c5, but now d takes c4, and now queen e2. But now black can play queen d3, really strong move, protecting the knight on e4, and also trying to exchange queens. Oops. And to rook e1, then f5, and this is just better for black. So if black knows what he's doing in this line, then you can end up with an inferior position out of the opening. So I would not recommend you this particular line, maybe in blitz chess, or maybe for one game or so if you want to try it out. But there are more dangerous lines you can play definitely here. For example, you can, what I like to play is the evens gambit, as you guys probably know. This is pretty sharp stuff and much more dangerous. Or if you go for that, you can have a look into knight bd2. This is interesting. It's also nothing for white, but black has to know a little bit what he's doing here. Okay, so there was one question. And then let's see the other one real quick. That was about the Catalan, whether to place the knight on e2 or f3. Oops. So let's go back. The problem here is the real shadow didn't ask for any specific lines, so I just have to make it up. And actually the funny thing is that usually the Catalan is initiated with first knight f3, so I don't even know how I'm gonna get there now. Maybe g3 first? I don't know, I'll just try, but I'll point out a few things about this. So let's say black's doing some normal moves here. I guess white is playing d4, is playing c4, black's just developing, and now you're saying you don't develop the knight to f3, but to e2. I don't know if you mean this particular position, but here, e3. The thing is, it doesn't fit that well with your setup. In general, you usually don't want to play e3 and g3 because, as you can see, it's weakening your squares a little bit. f3 mostly, not so much d3, but usually you don't want to do is that you're playing both these pawns forward. And then the knight on e2 is not as active. It's more passive. Of course, it's a decent square for a knight. Maybe you can go to f4, but usually f3 is the square where the knight belongs, and the knight can go to e5. It has more influence on the center, and this is just a better square for the knight. So since I don't know which specific variation you mean, it's difficult to answer your question, but I believe in general in the Catalan the knight doesn't belong to e2. You can also see you're maybe blocking your bishop here. So I would rather say look at the main lines with knight f3, what Vladimir Kramnik became famous for, kind of, and this should be more natural. Alright, so I think that's it. There are no more questions. This is it. I hope I could answer all the questions to your satisfaction, and well, that was fun. Got some good questions here, and then I would say I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.